Let's do it.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Rabid internet fan base to this, the Hemingway Land YouTube channel. I am very excited this week, guys. Very excited because I have an amazing property to show you guys. Yeah, sure, that too. But more so, guys, very excited because it is finally September, first week of September, which means it is my favorite time of year. You guessed it, pumpkin spice season, guys. Pumpkin spice. Crumble, Cheesecake Factory, Cinnaholic, Cheerios, Oreos, Jamba Juice, and every bakery, coast to coast, getting in on the pumpkin spice action from now until Thanksgiving. And I could go on at great length, people, about updates to numerous menus, to numerous businesses across the country offering pumpkin spice. But I've been advised that these videos are going on a bit long at times, and perhaps I should keep the jawboning to a minimum. So this week I will go easy on all of you with my lengthy dissertation on pumpkin spice. I will save you that. Suffice to say, I do just want to point out that Lady Yum, which is a macaron shop out of Seattle that does nationwide shipping. Guys, check them out, ladyyum.com. Conspicuously absent from their September menu is the inclusion of anything pumpkin spice. I think it is a conspicuous oversight on the part of Lady Yum. I am very let down by this. Anyway. All right, guys, so before we get to the thing that we haven't gotten to in a couple weeks, let me remind you guys, like and subscribe. People are telling me to tell you this. Like and subscribe. It sends a signal to YouTube that we're like a serious business and, a moderately entertaining channel. So there you go. Give it a shot. Anyway, with all that said, getting to the thing we haven't gotten to in a few weeks, which is, here we go, guys, special thanks. Special thanks to all our valued customers. Starting off in Socorro County, been listing a whole bunch of 1 acre lots out there in Rio Grande Estates, been selling a whole bunch of lots out there in Rio Grande Estates, more specifically, guys, selling them to Warren Jacob Jordan and returning customer Feliz Navidad. I am sure she has never heard that one before. Whatever the case, special thanks to all of those, no doubt delightful people. Moving on to neighboring Valencia County, been selling land out there in Rio Grande Estates as well as Rio del Oro. So special thanks to Michael, Martin, Mark, Josh, and returning customers Brian and Donnie, picking up some new properties to add to their portfolios. Special thanks to those, no doubt, upstanding members of society. Sold some land in McKinley County, sold some land to Mark. Mark became the third person to purchase property out there in that fantastic Red Hills Mesa subdivision, situated, as we like to say, in the shadows of the Red Hills Mesas that mark and populate McKinley County, make it such a pretty part of the state. Mark bought some land out there, so special thanks to our new buddy Mark. Moving on to neighboring Cibola County, sold some land out there to Greg. More specifically, Greg picked up that new 20-acre property that we listed backing up to the Cibola National Forest. Greg became, by the way, the second person to take advantage of our new program, owner financing offered on all properties, placed $7,000 instead of the entire purchase price of $35,000, and he is already making monthly payments and enjoying the land. So special thanks to Greg. And moving on to neighboring Catron County, Ronald became the very first person to take advantage of our new owner financing offered on all properties program by placing a deposit on the 28-acre property that we had out there in the Wild Horse Ranch, and then later funding the remainder of the transaction through title and escrow. And guys, I will say, if you've been watching the website for the last 2 months and you've seen the property marked pending, and you're like, my God, Hemingway, what's going on with that property? Why has it been marked pending for so long? Did someone forget to take it down? If there's a buyer attached, the buyer must be a real headache. In fact, no, guys, the buyer, Ron was a delight. Ron was a gem. Ron was a prince. Okay, I do not have enough good things to say about Ron because Ron was incredibly patient during this transaction, which took the title company the better part of 2 months to finalize. 2 months, because the escrow officer that we have over there, as I like to joke here around the office, closes deals the way old people fornicate. Whatever the case, after promising over and over and over to have documentation to both us and Ron, finally, in about week 6, they did, and then about 2 weeks later, finally closed the thing. So, point is, very special thanks to Ron. Ron actually flew out to the property from Florida, visited the land, learned things about the property I was unaware of, and I do a great deal of research. He informed me about it, and now I know I should have been charging way more for that property. Whatever the case, we're going to go back to the well. We're going to try and purchase more properties out there in that Wild Horse Ranch area. You guys like that one. I like that one a lot. Now that I know more about it, I like it even more. So hopefully we'll see more of those coming up on the website in the next few months. With all of that said, thanks again to all those delightful customers. Let's get to this week's new properties. Here we go. All right, people, going live on the website today, we have a new property in a subdivision we have never previously before bought, listed, or sold land in. And because I like to think of myself as having a savant-like knowledge of these counties, I am always excited, yes, I'm going to use the adjective excited, to express how it feels to find a new subdivision, however small that subdivision may be, and to buy land there, particularly, guys, when it is as nice as the one I am going to talk about today. The subdivision is called Oso Ridge, and I think you'll agree, it's oh so lovely. And if you thought that joke was lame, get ready, guys, because I'm going to use it again throughout this video. Here we go. So, first off, if we go to the map, our subject property is located in New Mexico, of course, more specifically about 2 hours west of Albuquerque in nearby Cibola County, and more specifically still, guys, it is located about a half hour outside of Grants along Highway 53, also known as Ice Caves Road. Now, this region features a ton, people, I mean a ton, of rural residential subdivisions, all of which we have sold in the past, and all of which boast a very close proximity to the Ice Caves, to the El Morro National Monument, the El Malpais National Monument, and of course this giant green thing you see here, known as the Cibola National Forest. Today, however, we will not be discussing Pine Meadows Ranch down here, Tierra Verde over here, Cibola Trails over here, or even, guys, El Morro Ranches over here. But rather this subdivision you see here, known, as mentioned earlier, as Oso Ridge. Now, this one, guys, is relatively small, occupying only a couple hundred parcels of varying sizes, but it leads all the way from the 53 down here up to the Cibola National Forest here. Meaning if you buy land here, you will have easy access to all of the hunting, hiking, and trails you find throughout the forest. And of course, guys, as always, it's worth noting that this region is known for and populated by its trophy quality elk and mule deer, as well as wild turkey and plenty of other forested woodland creatures. Now, with all that said, you may think that a subdivision like this is little more than a rural outpost made up of dirt roads and ramshackle cabins. But you will be surprised to learn that this region features, and quite frankly, I couldn't believe it either, paved roads, residential power lines, and underground utilities. In addition, guys, the homes you find out here look, for instance, like this, and this. More on those in a bit. Point being, it's a very well-maintained region with a lot of nice amenities, which in turn means there's a lot of nice homes out here, and that's why on a price per acre basis, land in this region is a little more expensive than you will find in some of the other rural subs I mentioned earlier. Now, when it comes to the property we're offering today, it is located about 1.5 miles north of the turnoff from the 53 along the paved Forest Road 50, making it oh so easy to access. See what I did there, guys? Whatever the case, this 1 acre triangular shaped lot sits where the Forest Road forks and continues along the eastern boundary of the land, while the road along the western boundary becomes Oso Ridge Lookout Road. Point being, you have roads on at least 3 sides of the land and conveniently rebar boundary markers along the north end, meaning your lot lines are pretty well defined, and you will not need to spring for an expensive survey. Always a benefit. In addition, the property has underground utilities at the lot line and sits within about 1,800 feet of the nearest residential power lines. And as you can see, guys, this is a relatively flat lot with some nice cutout regions on which to park, camp, and build, and it is also forested, meaning that it will provide some nice privacy. Now, 2 quick things to note here, guys. Thing 1 is that Forest Road 50 is also called Zuni Canyon Road, depending on the map you're looking at it. So just something to keep in mind if you do want to go out and scout the land. And thing 2, while I said earlier the subdivision has residential power lines throughout, they do curiously sort of stop and start depending on where a home site has been built. So the nearest residence that has them is 1,800 feet south of here, but there are a bunch of homes that sit about a half mile north of the subject property that also have power lines running to them. So if I had to guess, I would say that the underground utility boxes are a good indication that power can be extended wherever it needs to be, and it'll still be relatively affordable to do. Now, speaking of structures, let's talk about the homes out here. So whenever I see homes that look like this, I assume the subdivision has either an HOA or fairly detailed covenants and restrictions document. So it was yet another pleasant surprise to learn that Oso Ridge has neither. In fact, if you come back here to the listing page and click on the Zoning Restrictions tab, you will see this document, which are the only recorded covenants on file with the county for this sub. I would read to you the important restrictions, but there are none. Really, guys, this is pretty generic stuff, like the land can't be used as a junkyard, but there's nothing in here about structure types or minimum square footage requirements. In addition, the property is located in Cibola County, which, as we have discussed in countless videos in the past, has no county-wide zoning ordinance. So, as long as you're building things in accordance with state building codes and environmental regulations, you should be fine. And, of course, for those of you looking to camp or RV on the land, that can be done out here for at least 30 days at a time, and usually longer with a building permit. In addition, in case it needs to be said, there are no annual dues associated with the land, and taxes for this specific 1-acre parcel are only, believe it or not, guys, $7. Now, of course, people, if you do choose to develop the land, the subject property is, as noted earlier, about 30 minutes from Grants, which means you'll have easy access to a bunch of big box stores like Walmart and Tractor Supply for things like groceries and building materials. And, of course, if there's anything you can't find there, Gallup is only about an hour from the property, and they have a few more things to choose from, such as a Home Depot. And, of course, both towns contain their fair share of fast food restaurants, pharmacies, hospitals, and even casinos, so even if you do start living out in the forest, town and things to do will never be too far away. So if you would like to purchase this property, you can come to the top of the listing page here and click either one of these Buy Now buttons to initiate the transaction of your choice. The property is priced at $10,000 and can be paid by clicking this button. You can pay the whole amount directly to our company, or begin with a small down payment and fund the rest through title and escrow. Or, guys, if you do not have all the money now, you can finance your purchase of the land by clicking this Buy Now button and paying $2,500 down and setting up recurring billing to your credit card in the amount of $250 a month for 46 months with, as noted here, the option of 180 days or 6 months, same as cash. Of course, if you would like to learn more about either of these processes, you can read what we have written here at checkout and review the contract you'll be asked to sign for either. Whichever method you choose, you'll find we've made buying this property oh so affordable. Rule of threes, guys. Had to do it one last time. With all that said, going live on the website next week, we'll be continuing our summer of large acreage national forest adjacent hunting properties. And this one, get this, people, we got this one surveyed and staked. True story, guys. Tune in next week to learn more. Until such time, have a great 7 days, everyone, and we will see you back here in our next video.